Okay, welcome back to Paddy's Golf Tips. I said recently that I felt this site, YouTube, was all about trying to get every single golfer in the world to single figure handicap. So that's my aspiration. I want to help you all out. But I realised after I said it, and I went back to my Paddy's Golf Tips, that all the tips I've kind of been given are one-off in certain areas of the game and leaving it for you guys to put together. So I've decided now, in my next set of Paddy's Golf Tips, to do a plan for you. A set progression of what I would do if you came to me as a beginner, or if you came to me as a golfer who's playing for a number of years but is stuck, say, at a 18 handicap and wants to get down to 9, stuck at a 15 handicap. What I would say to you, this is especially relevant for somebody who wants to reset, whether you're starting and you want to go fresh, or whether you're playing for a while and you want to reset things and get back to a position that you can play off single figure handicap.
The winner of the gold medal and the champion golfer of the year is Padraig Harrington.
We're going to now move on to chipping. This is in our plan to get to single figure handicap. Now, everything I've done so far is about just getting some good motion, no golf ball. The golf ball will hinder you for a while. So, trying to hit it straight is probably the worst thing for your golf swing early on. We're going to put that in later. But I'm aware you want to hit a few shots. So we're going to start with chipping. Now, for continuity, I'm going to start in the range hitting chip shots. Not really a place to practice chipping. We will move over to a chipping green. But just early on, I want to show you this. When I was moving back and forth, you could see I kind of step, and if you look, I've actually stepped ahead of the ball. So my whole left side has gone forward, my head is slightly ahead of the ball, okay? And then I post up to hit it, okay? That's a full shot. On a chip shot, you never have the time you'd never have the time to be moving back and forth. It's too short a time. So what we do is we set ourselves over here on the left-hand side. So we're setting ourselves, ball still forward, but we're even more forward. We wouldn't want the ball backing us forward. For our practice, we want to be ball sort of on our heel and us sitting well forward. This is exaggerate. If I was in that divot on the golf course, I might play it like this. But when I'm practicing, I never play like that. I always push the ball forward, get my weight forward so that I'm somewhat left. And as you can see, just like on the long shots, find that ground. Spend all day in your house, if you have to, clipping the club off your carpet or some sort of pad on the ground, or go into the garden, mark a spot. Ideally, if you could, we'll do this in bunkers at another time, if you could mark a spot on the ground and just make sure that you're hitting the ground ahead of that line, just like, okay? See, everything is left of line. You've got to be that steep, you've got to be that far forward, okay? So with a ball there, you can see left heel, like so. The divot is left of the line. It's in front of the ball. You've got to be that side of it, okay? You've got to be over here. Like so. Again, plenty of practice. Loads of risks. We mightn't use that much risk when we're actually chipping in competition, but some of these should be active. Just get a good flip and see how far forward I can get it of that line that I've driven there. That's great practice, okay? And then you just slip the ball in, set the ball in on top of the line like so, like that, okay? Pretty simple. We're going to move now onto the chipping green and give you a few shots to play around the green, but technically it's about good movement and staying left of the ball. And clearly on a long shot, we have the ability to move left of the ball. On a chip shot, it's hard to time that. So I would just sit over there on my left-hand side and always hit left of the line. Mainly when you start off chipping, you're not trying to chip the ball up. You're trying to chip like you're trying to chip it under something. So in my head, I'm not trying to chip it up there. I'm actually trying to, it's like I have a barrier and I'm hitting underneath it. Don't use too much loft either to start off with. Don't start with a lob wedge. Just a pitch and wedge. We're trying to get a simple chip shot. So again, I lean in, there's my line, and just nice clip, okay? Ball chasing forward, lovely strike, but I'm well forward of the ball. My head is forward of the ball. When I'm hitting it there, might go down the shaft a little. My head, as you can see, is nicely forward. The one thing we never want to do is we never want to get our weight back here, as you can see where I was hitting the ground. If we don't want that double toed. So line there, another way, great way of doing that is with a towel. Very simply, put the towel on the ground. Okay, we'll just keep continuity, keep it around that line. Now we just put the ball, it'll have to be an inch or two ahead of it. Just cut a little edge of the towel as it went by there. But as you can see, I don't want to do this and hit that towel. Never want to come back. I don't even want to do that in my main swing. I always want to be on top of it. If anything, my head to this side of it. That's pretty tight now, I've got to say. There you go. Got it nicely, okay? So you got to pressure it left. Always left. Always push the ball forward, push your body forward, push your head forward, everything forward, and make sure you don't hit that towel or the line on the ground. And keep practicing that. You've got to be aware where the ground is. You can do this at home. You can do it in your house if you've got a, I don't know, if you've got a wooden floor and a carpet, just make sure you hit the carpet. Ooh, keep it left, okay? Now, as you see, there's plenty of wrist action. That's natural because my shoulders are set this way a bit, so the club will go up nicely. Okay, now, that's all there is to technique. If I wanted to hit the ball higher, I'd probably need a fraction more room. But, okay, I wouldn't need, that's a pitching wedge, so if I was going up, I caught a little bit of ground. I didn't hit I hit the ground kind of underneath the ball, but I did catch that coming in. So I've stayed left and I've worked the club under with my wrist. That's high end. We really don't need that to be a single figure golfer. We just need to be able to make sure we catch the ball first and solid. Oh, if only I hit them all like that. So nice and solid. You can kind of see I stay in it there. Even though I'm left, there's an element of me not keeping my head down. That's not what you want in golf. You never want to keep your head still. I'm keeping an eye on the divot. And then, I know my head stayed down there, but I was watching the divot a little bit. Okay, I'm quite enjoying this, guys. Okay, nice, another nice strike. So that's your pitching wedge. Start off with that. Basically learn when it comes to chipping to be, I would go, start off maybe 5 yards off the green and start with maybe a 7-iron, chip it 2 yards. Always try and chip it on the green if you can and see how far it runs out. Chipping is about experience. Nearly the whole game is about experience. Once you've got the 7-iron running out there, then try an 8-iron, see how that works. 9-iron. Remember, we're not trying to chip the ball high. We're always trying to chip it forward. Okay, the loft will make it go high. So move up 7, 8, 9 wedge, obviously sand wedge, lob wedge, and see the different heights and how far they go, all trying to land them maybe 2 paces onto the green, and then get a feel for how far the ball runs out with each one. So know what the difference is with each wedge that you're chipping with, each club that you're chipping with. Know what you will expect. Again, it's about, if you can learn what you expect, then you're going to be good at this and you have a fair idea. The key here with chipping is if you have a straightforward chip, we want to be able to chip it reasonably close. Like if you chip it to 8 feet, you've got 50% chance of holding that. If you chip it to 15 feet, like you're looking at 20% chance of holding it, or less than 20%. So it really makes a difference to chip if you chip it to 4 feet, it's like 95% chance of holding it. So it's really about getting the ball, being a good solid chipper and executing the simpler chips is all about making sure you get good contact, you're forward, and then understanding what each club will do. But do not try and get the ball in the air. The minute you try and get the ball up in the air, you start hitting back and hitting this towel, okay? If you want to get it up in the air, you stay forward. Obviously I'm going to go with a bit more loft. You stay forward. See, I can open up the club and I can get that thing as high That one spun back, that was quite nice. You saw, I did clip the towel a little bit there, but it wasn't, I kind of caught it in the shallowed out, so even more. Like so. Okay, you can see I can get a height because even though I'm left, I'm using my hands. I still think that's pretty high grade. You don't need that to be a single figure golfer. You just need solid, like so. There you go. Lovely strike. No, not even close to hitting the towel when I'm in that position. Again, you can see my weight is ahead of it. My head's ahead of it. And I'm coming in steep and hitting it. That's all there is to chipping. Use different clubs. Get a feel for those different clubs. Practice different lies out of rough. And now the key here is you have to go out and practice. Go on the golf course, drop a few balls and see how the rough affects it. If the rough is going with you, kind of pale or in any way brush, the ball will come out fast. If the rough is dark green, lush, coming back at you, the ball will come out slow. But you're going to have to learn that. That's experience. You're going to have to go out there and hit a few shots. When you play on your own, you learn so much. So going out at twilight or early when there's no one on the course, because if you hit one shot from off the green, you don't really know why that shot didn't work out. Whereas if you can drop a second and third ball and go, well, you know what, that wasn't me, it was the lie. I needed to hit it harder. I needed to hit it over here a bit, you know. So having the chance to hit a couple of shots and experiment is far better than hitting a bucket of balls. Again, you're going to need to learn how to hit shots from 10, 20, 30, 40, up to 50 yards away from the green that carry onto the green, whether it's a bunker or just normal. So our goal is you should know the difference. If you're 10 yards off the green, you should have a club that lands on the green, runs out. If you're 20, you should know the difference between 10, 20, 30, 40 and 50 yards. If you're coming over a bunker, that you can play that shot, safely carry the bunker and keep it on the green. We're not asking for miracles, but you've got to know the difference between hitting the ball from 20 yards off the green and hitting it from 30 yards off the green and 40 yards. And as you get better, maybe you reduce that to 5-yard increments, that you know what, I've got 35 yards to carry this bunker. I know how, from experience, it's nothing more than experience, I know I have to hit this shot this hard. It's not a big swing again, it's not far off or back and forth, and it's snappy. There's a lovely thud off the ground. Okay, again, plenty of hands, but they work well when you're this side of the ball. Learn how to hit it from 10 yards, 15, 20, 30, all the different increments off the green, land on the front of the green and run. We're not looking at backspin at the moment, even though if you stay in this position, you will start getting a good strike and you will get a bit of check on it, okay? But we're looking for simplicity.